are 19 years old. Nobody knows your name. You hand out political flyers on a dirty New York street. One day, you will decide who becomes mayor. You will control judges. You will control police. You will control elections. But right now, nobody even notices you. It is the 1850s. The streets are mud and noise. Horses, shouting. Immigrants pouring off boats by the thousand. Everyone wants something. Work, food, a roof, a name in this new country. And one building promises to give it to them. A hall on 14th Street. They call it Tammany. You have heard the whispers. Inside that building, men with soft hands and hard eyes decide who eats and who starves, who works and who begs, who wins and who disappears. You want in. So you stand on this corner, freezing, handing paper to strangers who throw it in the gutter. A boy your age works the corner across the street. Same flyers, same cold. His name is Daniel Shea. He grins at you like he already knows something you don't. First day, he calls out. You nod. Don't get comfortable, he says. Only one of us climbs. You don't understand him yet. You will. Rank 1 volunteer. You work for free. That is the first lesson. Nobody pays the new ones. You hang posters until your fingers crack. You sweep the meeting hall. You carry chairs. You show up before sunrise and leave after dark. The men inside don't learn your name. To them, you are kid. You are furniture. But you watch. You watch how the ward bosses smile at the poor and threaten the rich. You watch envelopes change hands. You watch a man walk in with nothing and walk out with a city job. That is the privilege of being a volunteer. Not money, not respect, just proximity. You are close to power for the first time in your life. And proximity is a seed. The cost is simple. Nobody respects you. You are invisible. You could vanish tomorrow, and no one would notice. Daniel notices, though. He's always there. Always one corner over. He hangs his posters faster. He smiles wider. The ward boss already calls him by name. You tell yourself it doesn't matter. It does. One night, an old precinct man stops you. He's watched you sweep that floor for 3 months without complaint. You don't quit, he says. Good. Quitters are useless to me. He hands you a sealed envelope. Take this to the address inside. Don't open it. Don't ask questions. Your heart pounds. This is it. Your first real task. But what's inside that envelope? And why does he need a nobody to carry it? Rank 2. Runner. You deliver messages now. You carry envelopes across the city. Some hold money. Some hold names. Some hold things you are smart enough not to look at. You organize meetings in back rooms. You learn the secret knock. You learn which men to trust and which to fear. This is the privilege of the runner. You are trusted with secrets. And secrets are power. You start to understand how the machine really works. A man needs a job. Tammany gives it. In return, he votes how Tammany says. He brings his brothers, his cousins, his whole building. One favor becomes 100 votes. It looks like charity. It is control. The cost arrives the night you finally open one envelope. You shouldn't, but your hands move before your mind can stop them. Inside is a list of names. Next to each name, a number. And at the bottom, a single word. Paid. You realize what you're holding. These are bribes. Police captains, a judge, a city inspector, all of them on the payroll. Corruption isn't a rumor anymore. It's your job. You could walk away. You could throw the envelope in the river and go home. But Daniel wouldn't. Daniel is a runner too now. He climbed the same week you did. And word is, he's faster, hungrier. He delivers twice the envelopes and never asks a single question. The precinct men love him. You feel the first cold drop of something in your chest. Not fear, competition. So you seal the envelope. You deliver it. You say nothing. And the question follows you home. If everyone is being paid, who is paying them all? Rank 3 ward worker. Now you have a neighborhood. This is where the machine becomes real. You walk the streets and the people know your face. You are Tammany to them. You are the man who can fix things. An immigrant family arrives with nothing. You find the father a job within a day. A widow can't pay rent. You make it disappear. A boy gets arrested. You whisper to the right officer, and he walks free by morning. You help these people. Truly. You see their gratitude. You feel like a hero. This is the privilege of the ward worker. Local influence. People owe you now. And in this city, debts are votes. But every gift has a string. The cost is this. You must trade favors to survive. That job you gave the father, it came from a contractor who now expects your loyalty. That rent you erased, someone covered it, and now you owe them. Every kindness you hand out, you first have to buy. You are generous with money that isn't yours, and the bill always comes due. Election day arrives. You bring out your neighborhood, every man you helped. You walk to the polls. They vote how you tell them. You count the numbers. Your ward delivers. And so does Daniel's. Daniel runs the ward 2 streets over. His numbers match yours. Exactly. The district leader posts both totals on the wall like a horse race. 2 young wolves, the leader says, grinning. Let's see which one eats first. That night, Daniel finds you in the tavern. He buys you a drink. No hard feelings, he says. Only one of us moves up. You remember I told you that? First day. The corner. You remember. He clinks your glass. May the best liar win. You drink. And you wonder, how far is Daniel willing to go that you aren't? Rank 4. Ward captain. You control the neighborhood now. All of it. Nothing moves without you. Who gets a permit? Who gets a job? Who gets protected? And who gets crushed? The police captain shakes your hand. The shop owners pay you respect. The whole ward beats like a heart. And you are the pulse. This is real political power. The first taste of the real thing. But power on this level cannot survive on votes alone. So election fraud begins. You learn the tricks. You learn how to repeat. Sending the same men to vote again and again with different names, different beards, different hats. You learn how to register the dead, how a graveyard becomes a list of loyal voters, how a ballot box can be filled before the polls even open. You tell yourself everyone does it. You tell yourself it's just how the game is played. You almost believe it. The cost is your conscience. The hero who once found jobs for widows now stuffs ballot boxes in the dark. You crossed a line you can't uncross. And the worst part? It worked. Your ward delivers numbers no honest captain could match. The bosses are stunned. Your name travels up the ladder for the first time. But so does a problem. A reformer has arrived. A newspaper man with clean hands and a loud voice. He's printing stories about fraud in the wards, naming captains, demanding investigations. And your name is on his list. This is your new enemy, not Daniel, the press. You go to Daniel for help out of habit, out of old loyalty. You ask him to keep his head down so the reformer loses interest. Daniel just smiles. The next morning, the newspaper runs a front-page story. About you, only you, your fraud, your boxes, your name in black ink for the whole city to read. Daniel fed you to the reformer to save himself. The old precinct man warned you about quitters. He never warned you about friends. So now the question burns. Do you go down for this, or do you bury Daniel first? Rank 5. District Leader. You don't go down. You climb. Because here's what you learned from Daniel's betrayal. In this machine, loyalty is a weakness, and information is a weapon. So you find the reformer's secret. Every clean man has one. His was a gambling debt and a mistress 2 blocks from his church. You don't even have to threaten him. You just let him know that you know. The stories stop, and the bosses notice that the young captain handled a reformer without flinching. That is the talent they've been looking for. They make you a district leader. Now you control multiple wards. A dozen captains answer to you. Daniel? Yes, Daniel is one of them. The man who betrayed you now needs your signature to keep his job. You could destroy him with a word. You don't. You keep him close. An enemy in your pocket is more useful than an enemy in the dark. This is the privilege of the district leader. Real money flows now. Contractors pay you to look the other way. Saloon owners pay you to stay open. Businessmen pay you just to get a meeting. The cash comes in a steady river, and almost none of it is written down. You are wealthy for the first time in your life. You wear a good coat. You eat in places that once turned you away. The boy who froze on the corner is gone. But the cost is this. Rivals now want your position. You are no longer the climber. You are the thing being climbed toward. Younger men look at you the way you once looked at the men above you. Hungry, patient, waiting. And one of those men is collecting his own list of secrets. About you. Daniel comes to you, all smiles, all loyalty now. Someone's asking questions about your accounts, he warns. I can find out who, for old time's sake. You look at the man who sold you to a newspaper. Is he warning you? Or is he the one asking the questions? Rank 6. Political boss. You stop trusting everyone. That is the price of admission to the next rank. By the time you become a political boss, you trust no one. Not your captains, not your leaders, and certainly not Daniel. And you are right not to. Because now you sit near the top of the entire machine. You decide who gets contracts. Every road, every building, every pipe laid under this city passes across your desk. A contractor wants to build. He pays you first. A man wants a city job. He pays you first. 20,000 jobs flow through your hands, and every one of them owes you. The wealth is no longer a river. It is a flood. You build courthouses that cost 10 times what they should, and the difference vanishes into your pockets and the pockets of your friends. You are richer than men who inherited fortunes, and you earn none of it honestly. This is the privilege of the political boss. Massive wealth, massive power, a city that runs because you let it run. But the cost arrives like clockwork, constant investigations. The reformers never stop coming. There is always another newspaper, another prosecutor, another committee swearing to clean up the city. They subpoena your records. They question your men. They follow you to dinner. You survive because everyone is dirty. The judge who would try you, you appointed. The officer who would arrest you, you pay. The witness who would testify, you own. The machine protects the machine. Until it doesn't. One morning, the books go missing. Your private ledger. The one that records every bribe, every kickback, every name. The one that could send you to prison for the rest of your life. Someone inside took it, and only a handful of men knew where it was. Daniel is one of them. You confront him in your office. He doesn't deny it. He doesn't confirm it. He just sits across from you, the boy from the corner, grown old and gray in the same machine. You really think it was me? He says quietly. After all these years? You don't know. That's the horror of it. You've climbed so high that you can no longer tell a friend from a knife. So when the bosses above you offer you the final promotion, when they offer you the top, you take it without hesitation. Because at the top, there's no one left to climb over you. Right? Rank 7. Kingmaker. You made it. You are a Kingmaker now. The highest rank there is. You don't hold office. You never will. That was never the point. Office is for the puppets. You hold the strings. You choose the mayors. A man wants City Hall. He comes to you, hat in hand, and you decide his fate over a cigar. You choose the judges. You pick the names, and the people elect them, without ever knowing your hand was on the ballot. You whisper to governors. Senators take your calls before they take their own parties. You have more power than any elected official in the state. They answer to voters every few years. The voters answer to you. This is the privilege of the Kingmaker. Power without limit. Power without a title. Power that lives in back rooms and never has to face an election. But here is the final cost. The one no rank prepared you for. Nobody trusts you. Not one living soul. The mayors you made fear you, because a man who can make a king can unmake one. The judges you appointed avoid your eye because they know what you know about them. The bosses below you smile and bow and wait, every single one of them, for you to slip. You sit at the very top of the city, and you are completely alone. The ledger was never found, by the way. It hangs over you every day. Someone out there holds the one thing that could destroy you, and you still don't know who. Then, one evening, Daniel comes to see you. Old now. Slow. The last man alive who remembers the corner, the cold, the flyers in the gutter. He sets something on your desk. The ledger. Your missing ledger. The one you searched years for. The one that could have ended you. I took it, he says. The night the reformers got close. I knew they'd search your office first. So I hid it. Kept it safe. Kept you safe. You stare at him. All those years. You thought he was the knife. He was the shield. You fed me to a newspaper once, you say. He shrugs. And you'd have done the same to me. We were boys. Only one of us could climb. He looks around your enormous, empty office. Looks like it was you. He stands to leave. You won, he says at the door. I just wanted to see if it was worth it. Then he's gone, and you sit alone with the proof of everything you ever did and the answer to a question you finally understand. You won the climb. But what exactly did you win? The final truth. Look at your life. You started as a nobody on a frozen corner. A boy with cold hands and an empty name. Now you control a city of 1 million souls. You decide who becomes mayor. You control judges. You control the police. You control elections. Every lever of power in New York runs through your hands. And yet, you never became mayor. You stood beside them, but never above the door. You never became governor. You picked them, but the chair was never yours. You never became president. You shook those hands, but the office was never your name. You spent your entire life building powerful men, lifting them, crowning them, pulling their strings from the shadows where no light ever reached. The mayors are remembered, statues, streets named after them, pages in the history books. The man who made them, forgotten. There is no statue of you, no street, no page. The machine you built outlived you and erased you, the way it erased everyone who ever served it. You traded your name for power, and power, in the end, kept the power and gave you nothing back. You never became mayor. You never became governor. You never became president. You simply chose the people who did, and history forgot you anyway.